Here we go again. Hello and welcome to the channel, it's the Eradicator, and in today's video we will talk about yet another DLC announced for City Skylines, Plazas and Promenades, which is scheduled to come soon in our hands. Now, as usual, no release date, but the good thing with Paradox Studios or Paradox Interactive is that when they say soon, it usually is soon. We're talking about the time frame ranging from a couple of weeks to a few months at the longest. So, we don't have any worries about to have here on that particular side. No, the issue here is that I have with this announcement is that this is not the announcement that I was personally looking for from Colossal Orders, and I think that I'm going to speak here for quite a few people out there. I mean, City Skyline is a game that's been out there for many years now. I mean, it was released in 2015, so we're talking about, soon a game that will be a decade old at this point, which, by the way, is awesome to see that developers are still supporting it and bringing additional content. However, my main concern here is that since City Skylines was released, well, all these years ago, a lot of time has passed since then, and with it, technology has also evolved. For example, computers are much more powerful than ever, and game mechanics have also gone further. For example, I'm thinking of Cityscape 2's political system, as well as the nation system here, which is a perfect example of what could be achieved nowadays in a city builder. Oh wait, SimCity 4 was actually doing that, but anyway, by now you must probably have figured out where I was heading with this video. I think that it is about time that we get a proper sequel for City Skylines instead of yet another DLC that's not really going to be improving the core of the gameplay experience. We need a sequel that would first improve the game graphically, because from that particular point of view here, it's really starting to look dated. I mean, even, for example, at launch, right, it wasn't the prettiest city builder out there. So imagine now, that sequel would definitely be expected to push the tech furthermore as well. First, speaking of that, I think that it's about time that we get to push the simulation well over 1 million inhabitants. Right now, we can make impressive cities, sure, but it's really hard to get well over 200,000 inhabitants. And when we do, the traffic gets so bad, and then the entire city gets stuck, right? And eventually, the whole thing stalls. So fixing that would justify a second game in its own as well. Then I would also like to see, as I mentioned a little bit before, regions and nations like in City States and before like in SimCity 4. These will without a doubt bring interesting interactions between the different cities, and I also think they would boost trade and other exchanges from which your cities would benefit. Also, I would love to have a realistic looking road system. I think it's a shame that we have to rely on mods to enjoy some roads that resemble anything that exists in real life. And don't get me wrong, City Skylines roads were actually awesome at release, but modding here has proven that there is much room for improvement, and if amateurs can do it, then surely professionals can do it better, right? Finally, I also think that the meaning a DLC can have is that they are still investing time and resources into that old game instead of using these resources and personnel to create the next entry in Colossal Orders' catalog of city builders, which would theoretically be City Skylines 2 unless they decide to go for another name, of course. Now, it's not because an older game gets a DLC that a newer game cannot be worked on at the same time. We've seen that with the Age of Empires series, but Colossal Order is obviously much smaller, has less resources, right? So I don't think that they could reasonably pull off something like that. Anyway, guys, that is all for this video. That is everything that I had to say here about this DLC, which on its own, I mean, it's bringing 300 new assets. It's quite significant, and it's probably going to offer interesting opportunities to make your cities more attractive, and I'll definitely review it when it is going to be out there, see if it's worth the buy, but still, nevertheless, not what I'm looking for when it comes to city builders and the City Skylines series. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, are you going to be grabbing this DLC? Do you still play City Skylines? Well, tell me everything out there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish you guys a wonderful day. It's been the Eradicator, and I will see you guys later.